I've been on here. This is my first live of the year. My name is Miss Sam, and I am an owner of a childcare center in Cleveland, Taylor Active Learning Yale Academy. And I was coming on today because I was kind of disturbed about a situation that happened this morning, and I wanted to just talk about it to those who may be are a parent, or maybe this has happened to you, and maybe you didn't take the time to think about it from somebody else's perspective, or just thinking about the ins and outs of your life in general as a parent. So this morning, I had to open the center, and it was because the administrator in training, a family member got ill. She contacted parents and advised that she wouldn't be opening, and I knew that I had to open. So I woke up at 2 to start my morning routine, and I was tired, and I rolled over back in bed and went to sleep. This is 2 a.m., not 2 p.m. This is 2 a.m. So now I'm up almost 4 hours before the center opens at 6:30. Okay? And we all know how to do math. It's technically 4 hours and 30 minutes, but to give myself a little bit of grace, we're gonna say it's 2:30. Let's say 2:30. Okay, 4 hours. Let's just make it that day. I was like, oh, I'm so tired. I just want to sleep because I was in a class last night. So I rolled over. I went back to I went back to sleep. I woke up again at 3:30, and I was like, oh, I gotta get up. I say this every morning. I gotta get up. So I got up. I did my morning routine. In the middle of my morning routine, my daughter comes to the door and says, "Ma, I'm throwing up. I'm sick just like my sister." Oh my goodness. I tell y'all all the time, wash your hands, use disinfectant wipes. Like, I tell you all the time, spray yourself with Lysol. These are the things I have done consistently and not had COVID. So I tell them that. And now, guess what? I'm in mommy mode. Just like whoever is on this live or whoever will see this live, you get in mommy mode. Now you got to see about the kid. Hi. Now you have to clean the house. Now you have to see about the child, see what's going on. Like, you have to clean. There is no sitting around anymore at 4:30 in the morning to just chill out. You have to clean. Why? Because you're cleaning germs. We have an air purifier in the house. I moved the air purifier out the closet and put it in the room, so any germs in the house, it'll go out. And I had to still then, after I clean, because I don't want any germs on me, what do? I then take a shower to wash off no, I finish my morning routine, then I take my shower, and then I get prepped to walk out the door. I did not walk out the door until 6:15. Now, if you are a parent like I am, now we're going to remove all titles, whatever you may say that I am and I'm not. If you are a parent like I am, you know the morning times, you are absolutely right. And God will. He will definitely be there for me and my family. But if you're a parent, the best time to wake up, the best time to do anything in your house is when your family is asleep. It is absolutely, yes, I am a teacher by trade. I am a teacher. I'm a certified teacher by trade. I've taught for over 16 years. My background is business and marketing education. However, my last 2 years in Cleveland, they put me in a K-8 building, which I was completely not certified to do, but I still managed. We got through it, and I taught children about careers. I started very early, even the kindergartners. We was talking about being an engineer and reading books about different careers. So, yes, I am a teacher by trade. So I'm naturally caring. And I'm a real teacher. I'm like that old school teacher probably your mother had or your grandmother had. I am not the new generation where I'm just trying to do this to get a paycheck. No, I'm going to tell you, you talk to me crazy as a kid, I'm going to talk to you as crazy as a kid and look at you like, now what else you got coming for me? So, but I absolutely love children. I believe that it takes a generation of people to be encouraging to them to move forward. So I leave out the house at 6:15. As I'm en route, guess what I'm doing? Texting and driving, what you shouldn't be doing. Right? So now I have left my children at home. So one of them is grown, the other one is not. I have left them at home to do what? Be an owner and run a business. I've actually did that. So I'm en route. I text the parent and I explained to one parent that, you know, I'm running late. I'll be there I put it in GPS and Waze. Waze tell me I'll be there at 6:40. I explained to the parent, I'll be there at 6:40. My children are ill. Can you please, advise, the drop-off people for your family that I'm running late? And I tell them, my children are ill. They say, no problem. The next parent, always drama. I then call the parent and I explain to them the same thing. I say, good morning. My GPS says that I'll be there at 6:40 and my children are ill. I got to get to work. This is so inconvenient. It's always an issue. I can't believe, ma'am, I just explained to you that I'm en route and that my children are ill. You don't even, the parent didn't even think logically about the fact that I left my children. I don't care if they grown, if they not grown, if they, they little or infants or toddlers or preschoolers, whatever you want to call it. You are just so focused on what you want that you don't see it from somebody else's perspective. I can get a job. If I close up shop today, guess what? They're hiring my profession all over the country. They need teachers. They need teachers so badly. They are accepting people, I think, with high school diplomas to teach kids. So I can get a job. I'm not trying to be negative, but the situation was negative, and I want to really honestly talk about the reality behind the situation. I was actually very calm on the call. Very calm. I didn't say any of this. And my personality is, when I'm in business, I kind of not say nothing, because first of all, the goal of a business owner is to put money in your pocket. That's any business owner. That's not me. That's Sam Walton. That is, what's his name? Brian Schultz, I think, at Starbucks. Every business out here, we live in a capitalist society. So the goal is to put money in your pocket. So I just left my children. I didn't say that to the parent, but what I did say is that, ma'am, I'm en route. I simply said, I'm en route. It's 6, and then she like, but you the owner. Ma'am, I have children. And it never clicked in her head that I left my children to be here because I am the owner and because I said I would offer a service. It just didn't click. Now, it's not my responsibility to make it click for someone else, or to put, just people have to remember, people are people, right? We all go through things. And my value and my priority, it cannot be this business. It has to be my children. My children have a future just like your children have. I honestly believe every child on the face of this earth has a future. And it is certain people's responsibility to encourage them. It is the parents' responsibility. It is the family's responsibility to encourage them. And children are often placed in situations with people who will encourage them. I've been very lucky in my lifetime to have encouraged a lot of children, to have pushed a lot of children, and I continue to do that. But I think she failed to realize I was once her. I was once a single mom raising children on my own, and guess what? I had to be to work. You know what? I had to be to work. I didn't care about if the daycare. Look, I've had a kid that's now grown that don't even like getting up. So guess what? I was late to work several days, several years, because my kid didn't want to get up. I had to drive my kid to the bus stop. If she missed the bus stop, then I had to drive her to the next bus stop, which meant that I was going to be late to work. I know the pressures of dropping off your child and you don't really get to spend time with them, and you you're working and you're trying to maintain a job so that when you maintain a job, you can provide for not only yourself but your children, because that's the minimum that they deserve. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that I serve here at Taylor Active Learning, Yale Academy, they're single parents. And they don't have family that's supportive. And that's one of the main goals here, is that, hey, we're going to help you. I'm willing to support, like, I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to stand in at, what family really means. We are a family here. But we don't speak to our family negative. I don't talk to my mom negative. I don't talk to my sisters, my nieces, my nephews, my cousins. I don't talk to them in a demeaning way. That's not how you talk to your family. You only speak like that when you angry. But this parent has gone through 6 centers. And your kid actually likes me, which most children, guess what? They actually like me. So if you upset because I'm 10 minutes late because my child is sick, I really don't know what to tell you. I really don't know if this is the right place for you, to be honest, because you're not concerned that your child enjoys coming here. You're not concerned that we are meeting your needs as a family because your child has a disability and we provided every resource underneath the sun to make sure that there is no gap in your child's learning. You're not concerned that your child actually eat good here. Like, they eat organic foods and it's a well-balanced meal and we go above and beyond the state nutrition guidelines. Oh, so that's not important to you. What is important is the time that you have away from your child. And that's a very sad thing. It is very, very sad when people don't want to spend time with their kids. But guess what? If that's how you want to raise your kid, that's fine with me. I have no problem with that. I have absolutely no problem with that. I just know that I'm going to keep being me. And if I can't meet your needs, I got competitors all around me, and I know they're not going to meet your needs. I know they're not. They're not. Your need is to make sure that your child is well cared for. And that's what we do. That's what we do. In spite of all my flaws, which everybody on the face of this earth has flaws, we make sure we meet your needs. We make sure we meet the needs of your children. And I'm never going to stop doing that as long as I'm in business. I'm going to make sure your child is enjoying life. Your child is smiling. I'm making your child laugh. I'm making your child feel confident and self-aware of themselves. I'm making sure your child does their homework. They understand the importance of education. I wouldn't be where I am now if I wasn't educated. And that's the truth. Unfortunately, everybody can see the color of my skin, and a lot of doors were open for me because of my education. I've actually had people comment and say, "You got kids?" "Yeah, I got kids. I ain't supposed to broadcast it, and I ain't supposed to bring them to work either. But yes, I have children." How do you do all of this? Because this is my job. This is how I take care of my kids. I want to keep taking care of my kids. I want to keep taking care of myself. So I'm on here to say, you have to know what you're looking for when you pick a center. You have to honestly think about, what is it that you want your child to learn? What is it that you want for your child? Not, is this convenient for me? I've never met so many people who are more interested in their life versus their children. Like, your kid is happy. I have photos of your kid like in the middle of an activity and they are laughing and giggling, and I'm posting them on social media, and that's still not enough for you. You do nothing with your child. I make it a point to sit down and make a schedule and come up with a whole list of activities that I'm going to do with your child every day. Every year, we do a different activity. The first year, my children here at the center learned ceramics. We went every week. They took a ceramics class. When I say ceramics, they were on a wheel throwing clay. They learned how to control the clay. They learned how to move the clay. They learned how to manipulate the clay. That was 1 year. The second year, we did tennis every day, Monday through Thursday, tennis. Guess what? The kids I serve, they're going to learn real quick. I don't like tennis. When somebody going to say, well, how you know you don't like tennis? Because I learned how to play tennis in the summer and I didn't like it then. That's what they're going to say. Now, because they were probably exposed to it, they probably might like it when they get older because they had the exposure. And they'll try it again. The same thing with ceramics. But we're here to be that bridge in the community. There are so many broken families. There are just so many broken families, and we need to come together. We need to be on one accord. And a parent told me, she said, I left the other center because somebody pulled my kid's hair out. They stole their coat. They stole their money. Oh, there's nobody stealing here. We have cameras everywhere. You see the camera up there? See, look, there's a camera right there. We got cameras everywhere. There's nothing. There's no hiding spaces or any of that. I question everything. I watch everything. I'll go back. What happened? Oh, let me go back. And I tell people, it's going to take me about 45 minutes to look at the cameras. I don't know nothing about the camera system. I don't know. And one time a parent was like, you can just speed it up. I said, ma'am, no, you can't. You speed it up, you ain't going to see nothing. And then the parent was like, well, let me see it. I said, no problem. Say, here, you can see it for yourself. They took the phone, tried to speed it up. Guess what? I was right. You can't see nothing. I don't know how to work nothing about them cameras because when I tell you something happened or you tell me something happened, I want you to trust and believe. Look, ma'am, you can sit here and watch it with me. I don't care. I don't have nothing to hide. But you cannot be, and I know you're stressed as a parent. Like, I completely understand that you're stressed as a parent and that things are going on. I've been there. I recently told somebody last year, I said, thank you so much for being there for me. I don't think you know how much I appreciate it. And I cried because I just was so overwhelmed. I was trying to, make it happen. I was trying to take care of my child, and they were there for me. There were times when I was inconvenient, but I knew I had to graduate from college. I knew I had to, get things right in my life to, just make it so that my children had a chance. And even today, I worked so hard and taught my first child how to work. Every job my child goes to, they are sad when my child leaves. My child comes to work on time. My child does their job. My child comes home. If the boss call them in, guess what they do? They get up and they go. Because why? They saw me. I trained my child. They had a disability. And I said, no, you're not going to sleep until your homework done. And people would be like, oh, that's not right. That kid need to be in the bed at a certain time so they can be prepared for tomorrow morning. No, this kid need to learn how to work. This kid is going to have a family, and this kid has to provide for that family. They have to do their work. They have to do their work. Good things come to those who do their work. I am a living proof of that. I am a living proof that good things come to those who work. And guess what? My son sees the same thing. He's proof that good things come to those who work. You have to get up and work. I don't know what society we in where people think like, oh, this is just going to happen for me. Because I've even thought that like, oh, I need this to work today. I can't be waiting for it to work tomorrow or the next day. I need it to work today. And it didn't happen. But guess what? Something else came in. Something else worked out in my favor. But I was so, somebody said, oh, stop being so negative. I'm not being negative. That's not my life. That's what really happened. This person was negative towards me. I cannot stop being negative. Like, I'm not a negative person. But unfortunately, the people I serve, because of the life they live and the lifestyle they've chosen to live, there's a lot of negativity. I pray, I really do pray that somebody who's hearing this or watches this today, that they will give their life to Jesus Christ. Like, I honestly believe that. And when I can say, when there has been sin in your life and you give your life to Christ, you may think maybe he's not listening to me, maybe he doesn't hear me. But the truth is, he hears you, he sees you. But you were living in sin, and you have to be delivered from that. So I pray that somebody will comment below that they have decided to give their life to Christ. You have to turn your life over to Christ. He will make you lay in green pastures. I am proof of that. When everybody else is fretting over life, your life will be peaceful. And I'm walking this out because my prayer is that someone will question, how is she able to do all of this? Like, she hugs my kid every morning and she tells my kid good morning. She never forgets a morning. My kid runs to her. They could be halfway down the hallway, leaving out the door, and my kid turns around and runs to her and says, like, I want a hug. Don't forget, hug me, Miss Sam. Give me my hug. Like, or they come in the morning, they run to me. I come in the morning, I can't even say good morning because they knocking me down at the door. Everybody's trying to give me a hug. It has to be something, and it's Jesus Christ that's in my life. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. It is the God in me. It is Jesus Christ. It is Jesus Christ. I can't say it enough. You up at 6:27 in the morning and you fussing, you have no Christ in you. There is no Christ in you. There is no way at 6 o'clock in the morning, when it's the most peaceful time of the day, that you are up yelling and being agitated. It's no way. You don't have Christ in your life. You need Christ. He will make all crooked paths straight. He will. He absolutely will. Give your life to Christ. Give your life over. He will bless your life. He will bless you with your heart's desires. He absolutely will. The best time of my life, it has been in teaching. I remember a teacher told me, he was like, you should be a teacher. No, not me. No. I remember in high school, he wasn't even my guidance counselor. He was like, you should be a teacher. No, not me. Because I had been suspended the whole school. And I'm telling you the truth. Didn't I ask you to sit down? You don't want to sit down? Okay, I'm going to call your mama. And I'm going to tell your mother I asked you to sit down politely. Like, and you still don't, you refusing because you want to be grown. So you can go home and be with your mama because you don't want to listen to the rules here. So thank goodness I'm not a principal, because I wouldn't have no kids. Because I don't play them games. I don't play them games with little kids. I don't play them games with adults. You know, this is my business and I have to conduct myself accordingly. And sometimes it's better not saying nothing than all. And part of the reason why I never started an in-person business was because I didn't like people. I like kids. And I realized as I began teaching, the more I taught, I realized, it's not that I don't like people. I don't like adults. Why? Because they're stuck in their ways. Like, they have all of these ideologies that are false in their head, and they're not accomplishing anything in life. Absolutely anything. You have nothing to show for your life, but you want to give me instructions on what I should do. And if I actually told you the truth on everything I've accomplished in life, you would be like, how you do all of that? Jesus Christ, that's how I did it. My belief in God, that's how I did it. When my son got kicked out of the best school in my city, I was so hurt. Why you can't just go to the school and be quiet and be like the other kids and don't speak up and don't do nothing? But guess what? I should have listened to him to begin with. He told me that wasn't his first choice, but I wanted him to go there because why? The Ohio Board of Regents said that these students do very well in college. So I knew if my son went to this high school right here, guess what? He would be able to fail in high school but succeed in college. I knew that. I absolutely knew that, but it didn't work out. They asked him to leave after the first semester over something that some racist teacher said. A teacher who didn't like children, who was just trying to get a check so she could take care of her and her family. And there's a difference. There's a difference between somebody who loves your child and who wants the best for your child, the same thing that they would want for their own kid, and somebody who's just trying to get a check so they can take care of their family. And nobody listens to me, but I say this frequently. There are more teachers who hate your child than there are who love your kid. I would say there would be about one teacher per school who actually loves your child. How do I know that? Because I've had teachers tell me, I'm not worried about these kids. I'm just worried about making sure that I get my check, I do the job description, and I can go home and I can make sure my children are well taken care of. Oh. I've had teachers tell me that every year. And when I find a teacher that really likes children, guess what? They become my best friend. I remember a lady, when I first started teaching, a lady pulled me to the side and she said, I heard about you. Like, you heard about me? And she didn't even pull me from the side. She said, hey, come here. I'm like, hey, come here. Like, or I could have went to her. The way she said it was like, you don't know who I am. Like, you meet people in life and they talk to you in a way like, don't you know who I am? I'm like, no, I don't know. And I'm one of them people, you can't come to me and be like, don't you know who I am? Because I'm going to say, no, I do not know who you are. Who are you? Like, no, I don't know you. I'm trying to keep up with my own life, let alone I don't have time to keep up with nobody else's life. And that's why I hate scrolling through Instagram, because then it's like, why am I looking at this person's life? But getting back to the story, she pulled me to the side. She was like, I heard about you. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, do you know who I am? No, I don't know who you are. Like, and she's older, so I don't say it like that. But I was like, no. And she's like, then she gives me her whole resume. Her whole resume. She's like, oh, I've taught for this many years. My husband, he worked at NASA, and I speak German. And she's an African-American woman, too. I'm like, oh, you speak German? Oh, where you went to school at? She tells me her whole background. Then she tells me she's an AKA, and I'm like, okay. Well, I'm not in those fraternity or sorority, so okay. And then she tells me about the jewel of her eye, her one baby boy that is actually gone. So he is not a baby boy. And she says, let me tell you something. Stick with me. The person who was giving me problems was actually my assistant principal. And she said, I'm going to talk to him. I like you. I'm going to make sure you stay around. I said, okay. Because one thing I learned in life, when people pull me to the side, it's a God-ordained appointment. It is God-ordained. And guess what she did? She made sure I stayed around. As long as that, she made sure. I can honestly say that she made sure I stayed around. And she had a driver, too. So when she told me she had a driver, I knew she had money. Because I never met a black person with a driver that was a teacher. So clearly she was doing this because she loved it. And then I just enjoyed my conversations with her. She told me about that she had been teaching so long, that they gave her all the problem children. And all the problem children, guess what? She had their parents. So when she had a problem with them in the classroom, guess what I learned from her? She called their parent. And because she had did a good job with their parent, guess what the parent did? Put pressure, as somebody said, on their kid. Like, you ain't about to act a fool. And she literally would say they would go in there and act a fool in her class with them kids because she had the parent and made a difference in their life. And so the parent didn't like the fact that they were disrespecting somebody who had made a way for her. I could tell you all, like, this lady really looked out for me. So one of the things I learned, when somebody looks out for you, you don't let them go. You don't go elsewhere because this person is making it easier for you. They're making it easier for you. And so I remember they moved us around because we were moving into a new high school, and she didn't come back anymore. She went on sick leave. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't have a person protecting me anymore in the natural. And I really got scared. And the person who was giving me problems, they left. So now it was a whole new regime of people, and I didn't know any of them because I spent most of my time talking to a woman who had been there for so long and had authority. But I also learned that the person who hired me, guess what they had? They had authority too. And guess what happened? They left too. So for me, it just was, I look at every lesson that I've had in education as a teachable moment. You know, when you have to look at somebody's life and you see where the gaps are. Like, you really have to look and see where the gaps are. And my goal here is to help. No matter what somebody does, no matter what somebody says, if they lie, if they're dishonest. I meet more dishonest people in this field than I meet anything else. I rarely meet somebody who is truthful. You know, I'm hoping that the person that I recently met turns out to be truthful. My fingers are crossed. But if they're not, this is not the place for them. I try to be as integral as I possibly can without hurting or violating a child. That's a powerful statement right there. I tell kids the right thing. When everybody else tells them what to do that's not the right thing, I tell a kid, you do this. Why? Because I've learned in life, when you do what's right, it's a lot of things that don't happen in your life. It's a lot of blessings you get on your life. It's a lot of things you never experienced because guess what? You did right by somebody. And I try to tell a kid that every time. There's not a time that goes by that I don't tell a kid the right thing to do. You need to hear that. So I've always, no matter where I've gone in life, there's always an older person who's standing in the background looking out for me. And when I've had a principal who looked like me, I learned things from them too. The reason why I greet every kid in this center is because guess what? I met a principal. He stood at that door every day I was late, and he greeted me. And he even asked me one day, you don't like it here? I said, I never said that. I said, they transferred me here. I like kids. So no matter where they transfer me to, I'm going to be happy. I just don't understand why they didn't put me back where I was and they offer the same program there and they put somebody different and I was already there. It's nothing against you, but I'm also spoiled. So I'm used to getting my way. Like, I'm really used to getting what I want. Like, even if it's the last minute, I'm used to getting my way. I'm used to getting my way as a kid. I'm used to getting my way as an adult. Like, because guess what? I control my life. The things I want, I go after to achieve them. But, yeah, I just want to turn around and go back to the original statement when you're watching the beginning of this video and say, if you don't like, if it's 6 o'clock in the morning, there's no reason why you should be fussing. Absolutely none. Very few people are up at 6 o'clock in the morning unless they're making money. Very few people in life. Majority of people in life don't get up until 9 to 12 o'clock. So if somebody is driving at 6:27 a.m., my rationing is being, they couldn't have just rolled out of the bed. Because rolling out of bed is kind of nasty and going to work. So that person ain't brushed their teeth, they ain't brushed their butt, they ain't washed under their arms. They didn't just roll out of bed. So they couldn't have got up and rolled out of bed and put on some clothes and went to work. So I'm going to take it they got up at 5:30. Right? Gave themselves 30 minutes to get dressed. But the truth of this story was that I had been up since 2 o'clock in the morning. I had been up at 2 o'clock in the morning because I knew that I had to serve families. I knew that. And guess what? I'm not perfect. And neither are you or any of the parents that I serve. There is only one perfect person, and his name is Jesus Christ. That is the only person who is perfect that has ever been perfect. So if you can't appreciate my flaws, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Because once you leave here, it goes downhill. That I can tell you. I can honestly say that. I absolutely can honestly say that. Once you leave here, it goes downhill. I appreciate everybody. Everybody who has helped me. But you don't know the type of lifestyle somebody lived prior to having a business. You don't know that. All you know is when you show up, they're offering a service. You have said that you agree to the service they're offering or the product that they're offering. And as a result, this is what's going to happen, right? That's what you agree to. So you don't know any lifestyle. And if they have a lifestyle that you never had, you can't take judgment on that. It's not their fault that you're not living out your dreams or you waited till you're 40 to get a degree. That ain't my fault. It ain't my fault that you don't make no money. It's really not my fault. And this whole idea that teachers don't make money, I don't know who told you that and where you got that idea from, but it's 2025. And if you think a teacher don't make no money that been there for 15 years, you're lying to yourself. If you think somebody who works at a hospital that's a custodian don't make no money and they been there for 15 years, you lying to yourself. If you think somebody that is a nurse who has been a nurse for 15 years don't make no money, you lying to yourself. If you think somebody is an engineer and they've been an engineer for 15 years and don't make no money, you lying to yourself. And if you think somebody has been in just any field, there is no field that you can go in after 15 years and you ain't making no money. If you ain't making no money, it's because you're not confident in who you are as a person. You're not seeking out promotions. You're not seeking out increasing your education and your skill level. So guess what? The children who come here, we talking about careers. We talking about, look, you can do it. I got a girl here now. My family and I used to do track in the summer. Why? Because I couldn't afford to go on vacation. I like to travel. I couldn't go to afford. I was at a point in my career. I had a lot of children, and I couldn't afford to take my children on vacation. Neither could I afford to go on vacation. So guess what we did in the summers? We ran track. Why? Because I knew that would be a way for my family and I to travel. And guess what we did? We went on one vacation per year, and it was always associated with track. So I told this young lady that's at my center, I said, you should do hurdles. You long, you got long legs, you slender. I think you'll be an awesome Olympian. And if you go to the Olympics, you call me. I'm coming. I'm getting on the plane. I'm going to be in the stands. I'm going to buy my own ticket, and I'm going to root for you. I'm going to be right up front. And I meant that from the bottom of my heart. This morning the young lady was on my mind, and I just was like, I really think you're going to do something phenomenal, and I'm going to be proud of you. I want you to know that. How many people have pulled your kid to the side and said something positive over their life besides you? Do you know how much of that's a good feeling for a kid? She smiled, and she looked like wow, and then she smiled. How many people have spoken over your life? Think about it. How many people spoke over your life as a child and told you that you were going to do something phenomenal? How many people? That's a question to really sit down and reflect on over yourself. So when I say those things, that's who I am as a person. That's what I represent. That's what we represent as an organization. Being there, being encouraging for your child. And again, I can't say this enough. If you don't appreciate that at 6:27 in the morning, because I call you and you don't call me, and I tell you that I am running late, 10 minutes late, I don't know what to say. I really don't. I know that there were tons of people who spoke over my kids' life. And I am grateful for every last one of those individuals. I'm absolutely grateful for them. I am. While I was trying to work and make sure other children were successful, I can honestly say that somebody was looking out for my kids and trying to make sure that they were a success. But what I also learned is that no matter how hard I worked and how hard I tried to push somebody else's kid, my kid was looking at me and what I did. What did I do when I got home? And guess what I did? I made sure they did their homework. I made sure they ate. And I made sure they took baths and went to bed. And my kids was looking at me. They looked at even today, there's something that my children are doing and I don't like it. And I'm like, guess what? That's because they saw me doing it. That's because they saw me do it. But I had to, because I didn't have anything. I didn't have anyone to help me but my family. So I had to do it. But there also was a part when I decided to, well, guess what? Go get a job. I've been working since I was 15. I was working my first job. Somebody told me to change my date of birth so I could get this job. And guess what? And they copied my birth certificate, changed it, and everything, because it was an original birth certificate and typewriter still existed, and they put the typewriter on there. They changed the date of birth. I took that in and got me a job, and my mom was like, how you get that job? I was like, I don't know. Man, I had a job. People would try to, and they did. Be like, can I have 2 10s instead of this 20? Oh, can I have a 10, like do the money game and all of that? And I got in trouble for that. But I did meet somebody that I'm still friends with today off of that first job that I had at 15. So you're not talking to somebody who lazy. You definitely not talking to somebody who lazy. I've always had a job. Always. My longest job I worked for was 13 years. My longest job. So I don't relate to somebody who ain't worked a job more than 1 year. You have no longevity in your life. No longevity. You've been hopping from job to job every 2 months. What do you and I have in common? Nothing. You have no character. You have no integrity. You have no grit. We don't have anything in common. We have absolutely nothing in common. You tell me you've been on your job for 5 years. I'm intrigued. Oh, you have? Tell me. So what do you do at work? Like, I want to know about your whole profession. I want to know about your life. Wow, do your mom and dad work like this? Like, I start asking all types of personal questions. And guess what? I don't share that with other people. I keep it to myself. Because there's something that you have that most people don't have when you done been on a job for 5 years. Let's stop. When you done been on a job for 17 years, You got something that nobody else has. You like, look, I got a set lifestyle. I know what I want. And I'm going to ride this boat until I can't ride this boat no more. But we just have to be mindful what we say to people and how we say things to people. Um, Somebody commented on my glasses. And I got these in DC. Insight Opticians. I've been going to her for 16 years. They are the best. She looks at your face and she picks out a frame. She's like, try these on. You like these? You try these on. She just look at your face. And guess what? I get compliments from everybody. Every color of the earth compliments me on all of my glasses. Like, where did you get those glasses at? Girl, I got these in DC at Insight Opticians. Tell her the girl from Ohio sent you, because she know who I am, because I'm her only client in Ohio. But I absolutely get all my glasses. I recently broke a pair of my glasses when I was in Chicago. And I sent the picture and texted to her. I can't see without my glasses. Guess what I had to do? I had to go get some contacts for the weekend while I was in Chicago. Because I can't see. I literally cannot see with these things on my face. So I had to go get some glasses. Because I can't see y'all now. I don't know who on here and who ain't. But I had to go get some glasses. And I knew I couldn't get no glasses and within 40 minutes. So I had to go get some contacts. I sent her the picture. I said, can you see if these glasses, you can find them? She found my glasses. That's why she the best. I got to go pick up my glasses now. She found my glasses in the middle of nowhere. She called her rep. Her rep tracked down my glasses, and they February 31st glasses. I said, oh, I know you the best. You didn't call the rep for me? Your client of 16 years? That's customer service. That's things you rarely see with people. Customers. So she hunted down my glasses. So that's to the person. That's to, see, I can't see. Gino Prospect Baby. That's the Gino Prospect Baby. That's the story behind the glasses. So you have the story. All of my glasses come from DC. I took them off. I cannot see without them. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave a comment, you like. But yeah, make sure we talk about all things education. Yes, I did talk about some educational things. And yes, I did deter from that and veered to the left or to the right. But it's just not ending. Like, I need people to understand that we are all people. We are all people. We all have somewhere to be. You would never walk up to Sam Walton. I don't even think the man's still alive. And tell him what he ought to do. You would never walk up to the CEO of your company that you work for and tell them what they ought to do. You're not even bold enough like that. Me, on the other hand, I would. You want to know why? Because I do my job effectively. When I get to work, I do my job. I go above and beyond in my job. So when I show up to work and I had an opportunity to meet with the CEO, I listen more than I speak. I only speak when spoken to. I've sat in rooms with people who are multimillionaires. I don't ask no questions except for, how can I spend more time with you? Do you have other events you attend? I'm very selective in my questions. And I hate going in the rooms with people who making money and people ask dumb questions. Like my daughter, see, to me, she like, I hate when people say it's no dumb question. And I was thinking in my head, I hate that question too. I hate when people say that too, because guess what? It is a dumb question. If you ain't been listening, that's a question that's dumb, because I'm pretty sure that the person already said what the answer was. If you didn't watch the video that they recorded for you, guess what? Your question was in the video, and that's a dumb question. So no, there are dumb questions. There, if you didn't do your research and you didn't thoroughly think about it, and you didn't ask a complex question, so that's an open-ended question, then your question is dumb, because a closed-ended question can only be yes or no. An open-ended question requires somebody to give you a detailed answer. A detail. And so when you sit in a room with somebody who's giving you advice or trying to direct you, you have to be very specific in the type of question you ask. You have to ask a question that will require them to stop, think, process, and then answer. Again, that stop, think, process, and then answer. Because most people who ask you questions ask you a question that does not require you to stop, think, or process. It's like, oh, okay, I heard this before. Here's your answer. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So if you are looking for someone who will love your child, who will make sure that your child thinks that they're the most important person on the face of the earth, who will greet your child every day, provide them with a loving, nurturing, and caring environment, and a clean environment, who serves nutritious meals, who wants to help you succeed, who wants you to be someone who can say, if it wasn't for my kids' daycare, I wouldn't even be here. Like, they really were my family. They really were my family. If you are looking for someone who will provide you with resources so that you can get the help your child needs, that's us. I know people come and go, but guess what? They always come back. I had a lady come back, and she told me, every time we pass here, my kids ask me, when are we going back? When are we going back? I want to go back. How come we can't go back? You know what that told me? We made that child feel special. We made the kid feel special. I've had people try to put us down. Right? This one lady wrote a review and said, we let ants crawl on kids. Oh, I went all the way in on her. Ma'am, first of all, you're not even for kids. If you see an ant on a kid, why didn't you brush it off the kid? And why didn't you come to management and tell management that you saw an ant? Because guess what? We have exterminators. I think that's the name of that word. People who spray the stuff all over the thing to kill bugs, pests, and rodents. We have a contract with somebody that comes out quarterly. And guess what? If you tell me something, because I don't like bugs, insects, rodents, pests. I don't even really like animals either, to be honest with you. But they'll do. Now, I do want to go on a safari, but that's a different question. But that's a different, conversation. But the conversation for this is that if you don't come to management, so I called. When I saw the review, guess what I did? I called our exterminator. And guess what the exterminator said? I said, this was the time the thing was posted. He said, oh, I was out there. Go back to your email. You'll see the report that we was there. And I was like, for real, you was here? He's like, yeah. I don't have to come out again because somebody wrote this review. And he said, you're going to see a lot of traction when we put the bait down. And that's the little they're pavement ants. That's what they're called. But guess what? When I see them, guess what I do? I call the exterminator. Because guess what I don't like? I don't like ants. So I don't want to see you. I don't care how often he come out. That's a bill I'm willing to pay. I need my exterminator here. Whenever I call him, I don't need him to be like, no, I need to be on your calendar quarterly, and I need you to come out when I need you, because I have children, and children shouldn't be in an environment with insects, pests, or rodents. They should not. They shouldn't. Because I remember when I was young, and we had to move. My mother and father had gotten divorced, And we had to live in a place temporarily because it happened suddenly with roaches. Those roaches came out the tub, and I was only 4. They came out the tub. I went to grab cereal, they would be by the cereal. I mean, they would come up the drain. And guess what I would do? I would be screaming. One of the things I told myself, I ain't never living with no roaches. Never, ever, ever. And guess what? I ain't never lived with no roaches. So if I told myself that about me, why would I treat your child less than me? Your kid ain't gonna be living with no ants or bugs or roaches, rodents. That's not gonna happen here. So that's why we have a contract with an exterminator, because I want to maintain a safe, a clean, a nurturing, and loving environment. So if you've tuned into this live, I want you to subscribe to our channel. I want you to like. I want you to comment. I appreciate you. And if you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, I ask that you would bow your head now, and I want to pray over you, and that you would give your life to Christ. Lord, I pray in your mighty name that those who listen to this video would give their life to you. They'll know that you gave your son to us, that he takes away all our sins. He loves us no matter who we are, and that salvation is free, but deliverance does cost. But he still wants the best for us. He wants us to be free and delivered. He wants us to live an abundant life, and that you love us, that you absolutely love us, and there's nothing that you would not do to protect over us. So God, in your mighty and matchless name, I thank you for all of those who will listen to this video and that they'll give their life to Christ today. They'll be like, how am I watching this video? And she starts talking about Jesus, because he's calling you. He's calling your name. He's calling you loudly. He wants you to serve him. He says, choose ye this day whom you will serve. He's calling you. He loves you. There's nothing he would not do for you. He will make a way out of no way. I am living proof. I can honestly say, owning this business, there have been many days I did not know. But God made a way. Jesus made a way. I'm talking about at the last minute. Just like in the story when Abraham took Isaac up to sacrifice him. And Isaac asked him, where is the sacrifice? He asked him that. And he said, I don't know, but God is going to provide. And guess what he did? He provided, and he has done that time and time again. I am thankful for Jesus. 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 And if you don't like the fact that I believe in Jesus Christ, guess what? There are other channels on the station. Like, there are other YouTube channels that you can watch. But I pray that you give your life to Christ. That's what I pray. My prayer is that you will give your life to Christ, because he loves you. So, with that being said, make sure you comment, you like, you subscribe. But if nothing else, I hope you've been encouraged. I hope you've seen the story from 2 different perspectives. I hope if this ever happened to you, you would change your perspective and you would be patient with someone. Because people have been patient with me, and we need to be patient with others. We absolutely have to be patient with others. We have no idea what others are going through. We have no idea. And just being calm and not screaming or shouting, it just makes a difference. But there is no reason why anybody on the face of this earth should be screaming at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't care if it's 6:02, 6:30, 6:50. There's no reason why anybody on this earth should be screaming unless they're in danger. Don't be mad at anybody. You should not wake up at 5 o'clock, anytime at 5 o'clock, and be mad at anybody on this face of the earth. You shouldn't. So I've been on here. I know I can talk. I'm like, whew. God, it is nothing for me to get on YouTube and just be running off at the mouth. I can get on there and talk now. I don't need no help with that. I can just talk. So I thank you for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. I got to figure out how to end it.